Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about liquidity pools. So people ask about DeFi, where is the yield coming from? And I understand that there's very different kind of DeFi. Some DeFi are self-custodial and some are not. Some uses a centralized, decentralized service. Some are poorly centralized and some of them are purely decentralized. In my case, what I'm teaching is DeFi, so I only focus on decentralized offerings where I have full custody of my assets. And while this is not an easy thing to do, it just takes some time to understand it. And once you do it, this can be a business. And that's how I treat it. I have my bullrun bag or my treasury in a different way. And then I have my LPs. That's one business. I have my borrowing and lending. That's another business. And if I have a trading bot, that's another business. So I just don't treat my XRP that I hold in my treasury in the same way that I treat my XRP on a liquidity pool. I think that the way that we win with these assets is that if we use them, not if we have them stored in a cold storage doing absolutely nothing. All right. So when you're in a liquidity pool, you're being paid for providing a service. You're offering your liquidity in a certain trading range so that other people can trade on a decentralized exchange. Yeah, okay, so you can see it better here. So I have this range. The yellow one is one LP, then the pink one is another LP, and the blue one is another LP. What I'm trying to do is that I want to be in range. If you're out of range, like if this starts trading here, then my liquidity is not being used, so you don't get any fees paid. So as you can see in the pink one, I have I'm fully in range. I'm actually bouncing in a really beautiful way. And then the blue one is in and out. But at some point, this trading range could be here, and in that case, I might be in and out of the pink one while I'm fully in range in the blue one. And then the other pool that I have, it's wider. So this one is around 25% long, wide, 21% wide, and this ones are around 6%. And then if I go to my app, right here, you can see this is the yellow one, the white one. It's been open for 7 days and it has printed so far $38.77 and it's giving me a 51% APR. And then these two are the tight range. This is the one that it's in and out of range. As you can see, the number is less, but I have 589 fees, lucky number. And then this one, it's a little bit more money, but it's also printing almost double because this has been in range the whole time. And this one is getting out. Today was an extremely volatile day, but look at the APRs that you're getting in two assets that I'm extremely happy to hold. I mean, trading can be interesting, but in my opinion, it's too stressing and it just requires too much time. And that could be a business that you have, but at the same time, this is something passive. I just don't think that it's the same thing. I have my treasury bag, I have my LP bag, and I have my trading bag. Now, this LP, as you can see, I enter at 2.01. I saw that it was very likely that the price was going to come in, like go down. So I deposited $161.57. And then now the price is down. So as long as we're trading here, I'm going to be printing fees. And as you can see, I've made in one day $1.24 with 160. That's pretty wild, guys. And then if it goes down, then in a way I dollar cost average into FXRP, which I'm happy to hold. And then if we get up, I get my initial out, and then I keep any fees that I made. So right now, if we stay in this range for a few weeks, then this is going to add up, and then it was a good business. And like I said, it's one business. So as long as I can pay, the reason that we developed this app is because I wanted to be able to make this decision based on current data. Because if you go to the dexes, they just tell you how many fees and what's the APR for everybody. It doesn't tell you the APR for your own position. So, and this is like the average APR, not the last 24 hours. As you can see here, this one is the USDT 0 and FXRP. So right now I have fees in USDT 0, and then I have fees in FXRP. This one is FXRP and FLR. This is the white one. And as you can see, I have it's been accumulating pretty nice. And then this one is the other one that it's the pink one that it's in range. And it's also making FLR and XRP. As I told in the other video yesterday, the thing that you have to understand is that when there's a difference in price between Flare and centralized exchanges, arbitrage happens. That means that somebody's selling in the exchange and at the same time is buying in Flare, or the other way around, they're selling and buying cheaper. And that is called arbitrage. So that creates volume. The more volume there is, the more fees that happen. The more fees, the more people that provide liquidity, the more arbitrage. Because like if there's very little liquidity, one trade, maybe $500 is enough to move the price back into range with the centralized exchange. But if we have millions of dollars, even a couple cents would take a lot of volume to get the price to move back to balance with the centralized exchange. That is a lot of fees, more liquidity, more arbitrage, more volume, more fees. This is called the liquidity flywheel, and it's insane. And now, lastly, I want to talk about the things that I look for in a liquidity pool. And this is very important. Are these assets correlated? I talked about it in the other one. Right now, as you can see, this has been moving super correlated. So that means that even though it moves up and down, but more or less they're moving. Sometimes you have assets that one is going down and the one is going up. Those LPs are extremely hard to time it, and you're most likely going to be losing money. And then also remember, like I might get out of range and I need to rebalance. So my aim is that these fees are more than the cost for me to rebalance, and then I keep the difference. So if the assets are correlated, I am much more inclined to enter an LP than if not. Why? Because you're always going to be converted into the underperforming asset. So if you enter with XRP and a meme coin, and the meme coin goes to zero, you're going to have a lot of the meme coin that is worth zero, and you're going to have very little or zero of your valuable XRP. And then the second thing that I ask, and this is the most important, like this yield, and this is not always going to be like this, because like right now we have a lot of volatility and it's a great time to be in LPs, but sometimes the trading range is pretty sideways and it's not really doing much. So then my APR is going to be lower. I don't care. I mean, if I can get a 30% return, like fixed, 20% per year on my Flare and my XRP, I mean, I'm signed up. So are these assets that I'm happy to hold long term? If the price were to go up or down and I'm fully converted into Flare or fully converted into FXRP, I'm okay with either. So same thing. If you truly believe in that meme coin and you want to LP it, by all means, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. But in my case, I only LP with assets that I'm happy to hold long term. Is there enough liquidity on the DEX? Ideally, you want to have around $1 million of liquidity. If there's a little bit less liquidity, of course, your value is worth more of that LP, so you're going to make more fees. But also, if there's very little liquidity, then there can be more manipulation. So if you want to go a little bit on the riskier side, you can do $500,000, but ideally, you want to have more than 1 million. That means that there's enough volume to make the fees worth it. And then the last thing is, what am I trying to achieve by entering this LP? If I go to my positions here, this one, I started with a stablecoin position. So I entered with $161. So in this case, this position, my goal is to make more dollars. Here, this is the fees. So, I mean, right now in one day, I made $0.50 from 160. I wish the banks paid me that in a year. So in this case, my goal is to make more dollars. It doesn't matter. Like I want to have more dollars and I want to have more crypto. So this LP, my intention when I entered, I said, okay, we're going to go down and then at some point we're going to go up. So whenever we go up, I want to have the same amount that I entered with and then have the fees. The fees, maybe if we go up, then I'm happy also to sell that FXRP, convert it to stablecoin, and then I add it here. So if we can be in this range for a month, this is maybe going to be $20, which from this is a pretty good return. These LPs, for example, they're different. Here, I don't care about the USD value because this is worth less when I entered, but Flare and XRP were higher than when I entered. But if I had these assets on my own in my wallet, they would also be worth less and they wouldn't be doing anything. in this LP, my intention is to accumulate more flare and more FXRP. So in this case, I have it very clear. One thing that I would say is do not chase yield. Like I'm showing you this, and this is definitely possible, and I'm sharing it not to brag. I'm sharing it to show you what's actually happening on the Flare networks. But do not just go and do it because of this. You need to learn to do it. Start with a small amount, explore it, see what's going on, and then as you feel more comfortable, then you can scale. And then cherry on the top, most of this is from fees that I've made before. Like this is mostly with profits, one way or another. I've been in Flare from the beginning, and I made a lot of Flare drops and interests and my reward Flare and everything. My FXRP, I've been putting it to work. I bought some XRP at the beginning of the year, or like last year and this year, with some leverage that I took for my Flare. So all of this is in profit. So now I have my profits, and then I put them to work, and now those profits are printing more profits, and that is called velocity of money. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.